Magical blessings and happy Black Heritage Month, beautiful souls. As a proud descendant of the enslaved foundational Black Africans who were stolen and brought to America, I honor the strength, the resilience, and the spiritual technology of my ancestors today and every day. Ashe? Ashe. My name is Amber, and I'm your guide to the Kundalini Rising series, Intro into the Chakras 111. Now, to honor the ending of the year of the wood snake, we complete the rising of our Kundalini energy by journeying up to the crown chakra this electric Aquarius season. Now, as you can see, I am already tapped into my crown chakra, which is why I have on the violet nails, my violet dress, and I'm wearing an amethyst crown. Get into it. The crown chakra represents universal connection. This is where duality dissolves and there's no separation between you, me, the stars, and the universe. When you are here, you don't need to go through any deities, egregores, or third parties. Now, this is the eighth activation in this series where we are going to cover exactly what it is, how to navigate it, and specific spiritual tools needed to enhance and restore your direct connection to Source. Now, if you are ready to put on your crown, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications to be the first to know when new content is unlocked. And since it is Valentine's Day, or as I like to call it, Love Day, show me some love by dropping some purple hearts in the comments to match the crown chakra vibration. So let's go get crowned. Ow! Now that we've journeyed through our third eye and explored the realm of our intuition and sight, it's time to transition from the passive observer to active creator in the magnificent crown chakra. Now, the third eye was the bridge that allowed us to see and interpret spiritual energy as an individual. Now, the crown chakra is the doorway or antenna, basically a receiver that allows you to merge with that energy and become one with the light. Now, this is the energy of the thousand-petal lotus, representing infinite possibilities all unfolding at once. The crown chakra is the center of our universal identity, where we receive pure consciousness and light from the universe. Now, this energy center represents transcendence, spiritual knowing, and oneness. It is where we enter into unity consciousness, where we realize we are all interconnected. Now, remember, this is where we tap into deeper spiritual awareness, allowing us to embrace oneness with everything around us. It is a beautiful space for spiritual growth and understanding. So, as we move forward, we'll dive deeper into the characteristics and the significance of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is the highest physical center of the body, located at the top of your head, extending upwards, and it is the sacred connection to divine source. This portal acts as an antenna to the universe, like the Teletubbies, if you remember them. So the color here radiates through the violet ray, or is sometimes associated with the pure or brilliant white color. Now, the violet ray is also considered the violet flame, which is a special, powerful spiritual light that acts like an incinerator. It transmutes any lower vibrations into pure love. So whenever you feel blocked or heavy, you can call upon this high frequency spiritual light energy too by simply closing your eyes and placing your hands over your heart or on your crown chakra and say, I call upon and invoke the violet flame to transmute this energy back into pure love and light. And then just visualize a majestic violet light as a flame flowing into your crown chakra and flowing through you and all around you, burning away any fear, doubt, negativity, or stagnant energy. See, it burns so hot that it glows white once all of the lower vibrations are dispelled. You can do this once a week or every night or whenever you take a shower to mindfully cleanse your aura. Now, the crown chakra is considered the center of pure universal connection and is often developed in our later stages of life called our wisdom years. This is when you typically begin to move beyond the limits of the ego, understanding the bigger picture, and you start to feel more connected to the larger whole. Where in our earlier years or in our lower chakras, it taught us to navigate our physical and emotional worlds, but the crown is where we transcend it. So when your crown is open, you don't just believe in the spiritual world, you have a direct knowing of it. You understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience and you are not separate from source. You are source, expressing itself as you. This is when you tap into enlightenment. That's the not only the knowing, but the being. This is that antenna that transcends the noise and allows truth, guidance, and inspiration directly from the universal self, source of the all. You are the vessel and the line is open. As we continue to dive into the crown chakra, we must first look at the cosmic forces that rule it. For instance, the ruling planet here is Uranus. I mean, it's fitting that we are in Aquarius season, which is also ruled by Uranus. Now, this planet was discovered by William Herschel in 1781 and named after the Greek god of the sky, Uranus. At this time, the planet Uranus was in the zodiac sign of Gemini, and this was at the height of the American Revolution and right before the French Revolution. This was the age of enlightenment, the moment where humanity as a whole decided to overthrow kings, which is represented by authority or Saturn, to demand freedom, individuality, human rights, all of the things, okay? Which is why Uranus carries the vibration of rebellion for the sake of progress. And guess what? Uranus will be moving from Taurus, what it is in now, into Gemini again on April 26, 2026, this year. So we will be again entering into that same type of mental revolution or collective awakening energy with a massive upgrade in how we think and connect. This reflects now with the world being turned upside down, skyrocketing civil unrest, not only here in the United States, but around the world. So, child, expect some significant, unpredictable, but essential upheavals for personal and collective liberation. Now, mind you, Uranus is a very slow moving planet that spends about 8 years in each sign and takes about 84 years to complete a full orbit around the sun. For that reason, Uranus is called the Great Awakener, and it represents the universal mind, higher intelligence, and cosmic consciousness. This is where lightning fast spiritual evolution happens with direct downloads for sudden liberation. This is the planet of the future and technological innovation where there are sudden strokes of genius. Its energy moves like a lightning bolt to shatter structures that have become too rigid. Now, Uranus connects you to the cloud of universal consciousness. So when you have a sudden psychic insight, y'all remember that Soul Raven? That's it. So Uranus rules electricity, lightning, and the nervous system impulses. It is the bioelectrical surge of energy that flows through the spine during a Kundalini Awakening. It is the literal flash of light that ignites the entire system and can create consciousness or a halo of light. Now, the crown chakra is connected with the element of ether or cosmic prana. Ether is the first element or the mother element. It created the other four earthly elements of earth, water, air, and fire. Ether is the invisible conductive substance of the universe. It's not empty space, it's more like dark matter because it holds things together, and dark energy, which pushes things apart. So that creates the ebb and flow of the ether, like the ocean at night. Now, dark is not bad. It is the space from which everything is born. It is the void, the mind that is right, vibrating, and pulsating with possibilities. It makes up roughly 95% of our universe. It is the life, the thoughts that haven't taken form yet. This is where spiritual rebirth happens. Not just by saying how you're born again, so and so, getting dipped in water, or doing other religious rituals. This is all to remind you of the spiritual ascension. It's the ambiotic fluid of the universe. It doesn't just sustain life, it upgrades the spirit. It is the dark, rich, and receptive space that holds everything in suspension. Just like the fluid of the womb, it is the medium that protects and nourishes the potential life that has existed before creation. So then Uranus would be the electric spark or the inseminator. It's the lightning bolt at the exact moment that the egg is fertilized. It's the literal flash of light or zinc spark at the moment of conception. So Uranus is the catalyst that turns potential into creation or thought. That's ether. Otherwise, everything will sit there forever in silence because potential is nothing without the spark. If you know, you know. Don't go off of potential. Now, be careful because high energy can create high shadows, and this can block the crown chakra with mental, social, or personal constructs, which all have an impact on our perception. These can be socially shared understandings we develop to help us organize and interpret the world around us, or your personal point of view of what freedom or justice means to you personally. And because of this, you can experience cognitive dissonance. This happens when we start to see social constructs failing, we see democracy not equaling freedom, old programs being pushed like Make America Great Again. The mind creates a defense mechanism because you can't force reality to fit into boxes that no longer serve us and many times have never worked. So that energy becomes unbalanced and can manifest as material obsession or drive to collect possessions and material wealth to build a false sense of your personal power. You could even develop a God complex or a spiritual ego where the ego tries to play God and says, I am the chosen one, instead of we are all chosen. That's why we're here. Okay? But it makes you feel better. I get it. It also separates you from everybody else, making yourself a spiritual authority. Because true crown chakra activation isn't about being better than anybody else, it's about integration. Integrating the masculine, the feminine, which is the spark and the waters. It can also look like a martyr complex where the ego thinks it's here to save the helpless, which can be a trap into thinking that other people are helpless and it's your spiritual duty to help them instead of recognizing that you are both the helper and the helpless. We are all reflections of the same divine light. The crown chakra teaches us if one person is homeless, we are all homeless. If one person is hungry, we are all hungry. There is no them, it's only us. Now, let's talk about ways that we can activate and balance the crown chakra. So, working with this chakra is essentially the ultimate act of reconnecting heaven with earth. But We cannot force our way in. We must create a vessel. We must become the stillness that receives the lightning. Let's do a cosmic web meditation. Close your eyes and take some deep breaths. I want you to imagine floating in the dark, silent waters of space. This is the cosmic womb, the ether, the void, the ninth dimension. Release the need for gravity, release the need for form, because space doesn't need a planet or a star to exist. It just is. So with every inhale, you are connecting to the raw power grid of the universe that holds everything together. You are entering the rich, magical dark matter where all possibilities exist, but none have been chosen just yet. Just float in this velvet darkness. Remember that black is the essence from which all others come from. It suspends you, supports you, and engulfs you in its vibrant electricity. You can no longer feel where you begin and where the universe ends. You are one with this divine current. The goal is to have the waters of your mind calm enough to receive the lightning or wisdom of the universe. Feel the vibrational hum of this potential. In this deep stillness, we find the seed mantra for the crown chakra. Some say it's Om, but deeply, it is the sound after the Om. It is the silence. To honor the ether, the primordial water of the mind, we will hold a moment of pure peace to create space for infinite possibilities to emerge. From this silence, we expand our soul outward into the Sahasrara. It means thousandfold. It refers to the 1,000 petals of the lotus flower that represents this chakra. It symbolizes infinite possibilities and the unlimited nature of our thought processes. Visualize a lotus with 1,000 petals unfolding into the cosmos. Each petal represents a new timeline, a new thought, an infinite possibility available to you right now. Let the vibrational hum of the universe flow to you. As this happens, fear dissolves, you detach, and you realize you are held by the infinite. Visualize the top of your head opening, and from this place of oneness, this connection, we claim our affirmation, I know. Repeat it internally. I know. I know that I am connected to Source. I know I am one of its infinite possibilities, and within the possibility of me are infinite possibilities still. I know that I have the power to choose, create, and change my reality. I do not need to think. I simply know. Now, let that cosmic electricity descend. Feel it pouring down from the lotus, grounding into your physical vessel. First, into the mind and the brain, the command center, clearing the fog and illuminating your higher cognitive function. Flowing down into the central nervous system, creating peace and ease, then into the pituitary and the hypothalamus glands. These are the master switches of your body, harmonizing your hormones with divine timing. When we open the crown, we are inviting cosmic electricity to pour down. It flows through the lotus and we activate the sense of the crown chakra. This soothes the wires that link your spirit to your flesh. And when it hits, it feels like a sharp spark. It's electric and undeniable. You get a download, a flash of genius, a solution to a problem you didn't even know you had. This is the sense of pure thought. You aren't thinking about it. You are now tapped into the universal grid. Now let's open our eyes. See, we have to understand something about this knowing, about this crown chakra connection. For us, for my people, this connection wasn't just about enlightenment. It was about survival. We have always had to hide our wisdom in plain sight. When we were forced to adopt a new religion, we didn't stop our practices. We coded them. We hid the orishas behind the saints. We kept the connection alive right under the oppressor's nose. We braided maps into our hair. Cornrows weren't just a style. They were a route to freedom. We curated languages like Ebonics. We preserved our magic through hoodoo and voodoo, even when they demonized us for it. And the music was the framework. Wade in the water, children wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Follow the drinking gourd. Man, these were not just songs. They were GPS coordinates. They were signals. And that spirit didn't die. It just changed form. This is the lightning bolt of truth. This is the ancestors reminding us we are still here and that code is still active and it is alive. So, as we move into this age of Aquarius, we are not just learning something new. We are remembering. We are putting the members of ourselves back together. We are reclaiming that stone that the builder refused, and we are using it to build a new world. This brings you into unity consciousness. You start to move from me to we. You stop fighting reality and you start living your true purpose. When this energy is flowing properly, you will feel a shift in your daily reality. Here are the signs that your crown chakra is balanced. So first you have unshakable peace and a lack of fear. You detach from the drama of the 3D world because you know that everything is happening in divine timing. You stop fighting reality. You carry an inner calm that isn't dependent on your bank account or your relationship status. The fear dissolves because you know you are supported by the infinite, always. You can also experience unity consciousness and purpose. Like we did, we moved from the me to the we. We start to see others as fractals of ourselves. This connection pulls you into your true purpose. You start doing the things your soul came here to do, building foundations, creating art, healing others, helping others, pouring into others, even if it doesn't make logical sense to others around you. And you want to know the best part? When you do all this, the universe starts talking back. And we call that synchronicities. You may start to see angel numbers 111, 1111, 444. You might feel intense deja vu or perfect timing. You can even begin to notice animal totems like hawks or owls appearing at the perfect moment. This is the universe winking at you. It's confirmation. It's saying, yes, the connection is clear. We hear you. And we will have an extra credit activity to track this later on. So stay tuned. Since the crown chakra connects us to the universe and we have entered the cosmic mind from our meditation, for us to really deep dive, we have to discuss the universal law of mentalism. Now, these laws describe the physics of the spiritual world and are hermetic principles that rest on the foundation of Ma'at, which is cosmic law and balance. This wisdom stems from ancient Egypt and the teachings of the Egyptian god Thoth, who was a god of wisdom and magic. And it spans into ancient Greece, where he was called Hermes Trismegistus. The law of mentalism is the first of the 7 universal laws, and it states that the all is mind, or the universe is mental. This basically means that we are all living inside the mind of the all as thoughts. Now, stay with me here. Let's think about this as the law of one. So think about Source, God, the Creator, as pure white light that emerges from the dark void. Once it hits Earth's atmosphere, it hits a prism. When it hits the prism, this light scatters into billions of different colors and angles, which are all us. Now, the ego, or the individual light, observes and begins to logically separate, categorize, and classify things. The ego can declare, I am blue, I see red, I am not red, red is not me, so I'm different. I hate red, I'm better than red, I'm brighter than red, or red means bad, or whatever the mind can come up with to justify what it thinks of itself. Now, this recognition of difference creates a separation called duality. But the crown knows that we are both white light hitting the glass at different angles and expressing at a slightly different pitch or tone. You are the universe, expressing itself as a human for a short while or for a human lifetime, here to gain the experiences and lessons your individual soul needs in its ascension for the collective and personal evolution. But here's the trap. We live in a shared reality where thought forms become egregores. Think like Santa Claus or the concept of race. These are mental constructs or cages in the collective mind. But remember, reality is not solid. It's solidified thought. So if you change the code, which is the thought, you can change the program, which is the reality. To master this law, you have to use your power of thought and focus only on the outcomes you want to attract in your life. This is similar to the law of attraction. However, that falls under the law of vibration. So, you know what? Let's get into these 7 hermetic principles. Now, we just learned about the first law, which is the law of mentalism, which is associated with the crown chakra, and it is immutable, meaning it cannot be changed. So whether you believe in it or not, they are happening. This is the law, and it is the foundation of these hermetic principles. Moving down the chakras to the third eye, we have the also immutable law of correspondence, which states, as above, so below. I'm sure you've already heard of this. It means there is harmony between the physical, mental, and spiritual planes. So if something is happening in your 3D reality, which is the below, it's a reflection of the pattern in your spirit or mind from above. If you find and fix the pattern within yourself and heal that reflection on the inside of you, it sends a ripple on the outside of you that heals the world. Now, this does not mean to go get surgical procedures to fix what you perceive to be wrong on the outside. It's about accepting, loving, and honoring your outward expression. Next, we have the immutable law of vibration in the throat chakra. Now, this law states that nothing rests. Everything moves and vibrates. This means everything is energy in motion or emotion. A simpler way of putting this is energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is only transformed by the rate of its vibration. So even when the body stops vibrating, the spirit continues at a different vibrational charge. Now, let's move on to the mutable law of rhythm in the heart. Now, this law states that everything has a rhythm like your heart, or a cycle that flows in and out like your breath. Empires rise and fall like the tides. Bad days follow good days. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. So to master this law, as soon as you feel the backward swing of the pendulum in your life, do not fear, because just as it swung back, it has to swing forward again. Now, swinging forward onto the law of cause and effect in the solar plexus chakra. Now, this law is mutable also, which means it can be changed. Now, this law is like karma, and it states that every action has a reaction, whether it is a thought, intention, or physical action. It also says that nothing is random, so you become the new cause by using your actions or reactions to create new effects in your daily life. This reminds me of something my auntie Leah used to say. She said, whatever you put in your circle is what comes back around. Look at that wisdom coming through. Next on to the mutable law of polarity. That is the sacral chakra. This law states that everything is dual and opposites are identical in nature, but at different extremes. For example, hot and cold are not two different things. They are the same thing at different temperature. Dark and light exist at the same time together. Lastly, we move on to the mutable law of gender in the root chakra. And this law states gender is in everything and has a masculine and feminine property and principles. This is about energy. Masculine energy expresses as will, action, logic, giving, like the lightning, and feminine energy manifests as intuition, nurturing, subconscious, and receiving, like the womb. These things need time to grow. It takes 9 months to grow a baby. Everything has a seed and gestational period, meaning things don't manifest instantly on the physical plane because it is the most dense. Now, these laws are the cheat codes to the simulation, and it all starts right here in the mind. Now that we understand the mind, how do we prepare the body? With the crown chakra, the goal is to have the waters of the mind calm enough to receive, connect to, and reflect the divine universal consciousness. Since the crown is the entry point for the divine, we don't feed it like the lower chakras. We clear it or purify it. We shift our nervous system from the sympathetic, which was flight or fight, to the parasympathetic of rest and digest, because that's where everything happens. You can't manifest with an unregulated nervous system. So a powerful practice to do is sun gazing during the golden hour. Now, this is the first hour after sunrise and is the last hour before sunset. This sunlight exposure can help your body absorb vitamin D and light codes through your skin and your eyes. While you do this, I want you to visualize sitting inside a giant spinning octahedron. This is a sacred geometric shape with one triangle pointing up, connecting to source, and the other pointing down, anchoring you into Mother Earth Gaia. They are joined at the base with you sitting at the 0 point, balancing both worlds. This is your sealed personal vehicle of light. It is your diamond light body, and you have now become the prism. This geometry stabilizes the connection between your body and the enlightenment of the 7th dimension. This dimension holds the 7 laws of the universe within the 7 chakras. So, since we are building a light body, we need to eat light as the fuel. You see, in the crown, we are moving from matter to energy. So the number 1 activator for the crown is fasting. It is best to fast from food to intake more energy or prana, which is breath. You can do it intermittently because digestion takes a massive amount of energy. When the stomach is empty, that energy rises to the brain and clears the static so that the downloads can come through. When you do eat, choose white foods that conduct electricity. Foods like cauliflower, which looks exactly like a brain, and it helps cognitive function. Mushrooms, they connect you to the mycelial network, which is the cosmic web. Eating turnips, parsnips, jicama, which has a high water content, and daikon is a powerful detoxifier for the brain-gut connection. Moving on to fruits, white or violet fruits carry the lightest frequency. So fruits like coconuts, but not just the juice, you can have the meat as well. This is the ultimate crown chakra food. These grow high in the trees, near the sun, and they have a hard shell like your skull. The pure meat and the water inside is packed with electrolytes for your nervous system. White peaches, leche, mangosteen, which actually resembles a lotus flower when you cut it on the inner flesh, and that's why it's called the queen of fruit. Additionally, enjoying teas and fresh herbs and waters like spring water, and you can charge it with a clear quartz to make it vibrate even higher. Blue lotus tea was used in ancient Egypt for euphoria and higher consciousness. It relaxes the body while awakening the chakras. Butterfly pea flower, which brews into a deep indigo violet color, boosting memory and brain power. So now that we talked about food, let's move to the body so that we can flush the pineal and pituitary glands, which is why crown chakra poses often involve inversions, like this supported headstand. This balancing pose requires it to reverse gravity, forcing you to view the world from a different perspective and pressing the crown into the earth. You should not stay in this pose for more than 3 or 4 minutes, and you shouldn't do it if you have heart conditions, blood pressure issues, any dizziness from standing, or eye conditions. So you may want to consult your doctor first. Next, we have rabbit pose. Now, this is a gentler inversion where the crown lightly touches the ground, opening the spine so that the channel is clear to allow Kundalini energy to flow. Next up, we have the corpse pose. This is a pose of total surrender. This isn't just a nap. This is the ego death. It mimics the state of the void, where we release the physical body entirely and float in the dark waters of space. Last up, we have lotus pose. Now, this is the throne of wisdom. This is the geometric anchor for your light body that locks the lower body into a stable pyramid base. This forces Kundalini energy to travel upward through the spine to bloom at the crown, mirroring the opening of the 1,000-petaled lotus itself. And this is how we build the vessel to receive the lightning. Now that we have cleared the body, let's tune the frequency. So the 963 Hertz frequency is often referred to as the God frequency or the return to oneness. This promotes clarity of thought. Now, let's think back to the law of mentalism. We talked about how society programs us with constructs and trauma. Well, the 963 hertz is your factory reset button. It corresponds to the note of C, which is thought to activate the crown chakra because it is the highest note in the original musical scale. This vibration can help clear the spirit and speaks directly to your DNA. It reminds your cells of the original perfect blueprint. Before the trauma, before the stress, and before the world told you who you were supposed to be with its societal programming. We also talked about the prism earlier, how the ego sees separation and colors. This frequency dissolves that illusion. It melts away the ego and reminds your spirit that you are still part of the pure white light. Listening to the 963 hertz frequency can help strengthen your connection to your crown chakra because it resonates with the frequency of the pineal gland known as the seat of the soul to help decalcify it, allowing you to receive clear signals from the universe. This tone clears the static from your central nervous system so that downloads can come through without any distortion. By realigning the brain's hemispheres. Since the crown is the most active during our dream state and it promotes lucid dreams, I recommend playing this frequency low in the background while you sleep. Let it wash over your subconscious until the ego is offline. Let it scrub away the fear and realign the hemispheres of your brain so that when you wake up, you remember exactly who you are and you are in alignment with the highest version of yourself. Now, we've talked about the crown chakra and how it's an antenna. And think of crystals as the tuning forks to make sure you are on the right channel. When you bring a high vibrational crystal like apophyllite, clear quartz, and amethyst like my crown, your body naturally tries to match the stable rhythm of the crystal by resonating. Now, apophyllite is the stone of the seer, and it establishes a clear connection between you and your spirit guides while aiding in remote viewing. It has a high vibration of peace and love that activates both the third eye and the crown chakras, making them receptive to spiritual energies. This can help you to receive visions or insights about current situations and aid in astral travel. So, placing a piece in your pillowcase while you sleep makes it act as a data transfer crystal. It can transfer ideas from the higher dimensions by allowing you to connect with your spiritual guides to receive divine guidance. Next, we have amethyst. Now, amethyst is the stone of spiritual sovereignty. Remember how we talked about putting crystals in your pillowcase to benefit from their energy? In addition to that, you can wear them as jewelry and directly place them on your crown like this amethyst crown I have on. It naturally relieves stress, transmutes lower vibrations into higher frequencies, and it allows for easier access to the divine by enhancing spiritual awareness and wisdom by promoting higher states of consciousness. Finally, we have clear quartz. Now, clear quartz is the most popular crown chakra crystal. This is known as the master healer because it cleanses, opens, and activates all of the chakras, but particularly the crown chakra. Now, this gem enhances spiritual awareness, protects against negativity, and attunes you to your higher self. We actually add clear quartz powder directly into our Euphoria carpet deodorizers. Now, crystals not only hold memory, but They radiate energies outward into the surrounding environment while magnifying positive energetic vibrations. This deodorizer not only amplifies your intention and energy, but it also provides clarity in all situations. So when you sprinkle some of this in your home or in your shoes, you are not only getting rid of bad smells and odors, but you are actually walking on charged or holy ground. You are clarifying your path, amplifying your intentions, and establishing protection all over your home and body. So make sure to use it in your car, on your upholstery, or even on your mattress for protection and clear connection during astral travel and dream work. Another way to connect with the crown chakra and shift the atmosphere is by using aromatherapy. Now, our sense of smell is the only sense that bypasses the logical brain and goes straight to the emotional and spiritual center. A quick way to do this is by making a scent tint. So you just place a few drops of essential oil. I mix my essential oil with a carrier oil, and this is jojoba oil. I put it in the palm of my hands. I rub them together to activate it with the heat. And then once you get done, you can state your intentions as well. And then you cup it over your nose and your mouth without touching your face. And you take a deep breath. And this should help you feel an immediate shift. Let's start to talk about essential oils. So in ancient Egypt, they knew that you can engage your spirit through scent because it was the bridge to the soul. They used oils like myrrh. Is often considered the goddess oil because of its connection to Isis and her remembering of her husband Osiris. Now, this would be the crown chakra's grounding wire because you can't hold a high voltage without an anchor. It clears the path between the crown, which is the spirit, and the root, which is the matter, ensuring that wisdom you receive from the higher realms actually lands in your body. It can serve as the bridge between heaven and earth, making sure you don't float away. It was used during the mummification process in ancient Egypt. So it not only preserved the body, but it sealed the soul for its journey to the afterlife. And that is myrrh. Next up, we have vetiver. And vetiver is for stability. It calms the nervous system and also aids in dream recall. It helps you stay grounded while connecting with the infinite. It promotes relaxation, a peacefulness, and it is used in our aura and room sprays. Now, blue lotus is the flower of the high priestess. In Egypt, this wasn't just a flower. It was a portal that was used for a prophecy because it induces a state of euphoria. Now, this scent doesn't just relax you, it elevates you. And was used for lucid dreaming and connection to the divine. Our carpet deodorizer. It would be great if it's sprinkled on your mattress and vacuumed up once you set your intentions. Now, just as a reminder, these tools don't fix us. They remind us of the frequency that we are supposed to be holding, and they help you tune your antenna back to God. Now, we're going to move on to physically open the sacred seal of the crown by using the lotus mudra or Padma mudra. It is known as the chalice of enlightenment, and it connects us back to that 1,000-petal lotus motif. In Egypt or ancient Kemet, the lotus was the ultimate sacred symbol of rebirth. Whether we are in India or Egypt, the ancients are all speaking the same language, which is resurrection. Let's do this together. Let's place our hands at the heart center, and we're going to keep the base of our palms touching. Now you're going to touch your thumb and your pinky together. Then we're going to let the index finger, the middle fingers, and the ring fingers blossom like a blooming flower. You have now created a cup, a bowl, or an open vessel. You see your hands? Now think about the lotus. Its roots start in the deepest, dirtiest mud. It pushes up through that dark water, it breaks the surface, and blooms spotlessly white in the sun. Now, this mudra is a reminder that your growth comes from the mud, not despite it. So let's inhale slowly. Let's raise the cup from our heart, past your throat, beyond your third eye, and up to your crown where it rests. Okay? So hold it here. And right now, your hands are an antenna. You are the Holy Grail waiting to be filled. Say to the universe, pour the light codes into this vessel. See the golden violet light pouring from source, filling your hands and washing over your entire nervous system. When you hold this mudra over your head, realize what you are doing. You are crowning yourself because you are the lotus flower bomb, fly, rising from the mud to birth your own internal sun. Y'all heard Wale? Okay. Well, this is the ultimate symbol of resurrection. You have transmuted the struggle into majesty. And now you are ready to receive your crown. So put it on, girl. Because I sure did. Get into it. Now, let's take a deep breath and wrap up our discussion on this crown chakra. Now, look at how much we have covered in this short time. We started by exploring the stages of human development, in this case, the wisdom years. We identified the location of the crown chakra, which sits at the top of your head, and it is connected with the pure white or violet rays of light. We learned to read the map of our own energy, identifying the warning signs of a black crown chakra versus the peace of a balanced one. And we also did a deep dive into the cosmos, and we connected with the ruling planet Uranus, which we call the Great Awakener, and we floated in the dark waters of infinite potential in the element of ether when we did our cosmic womb meditation. But we didn't just learn. We built ourselves a toolkit, and we equipped it with sacred tools like the seed mantra of Om or silence, the affirmation I know, the 7 universal laws, specifically the law of mentalism to rewrite our reality. We moved our bodies through yoga poses like the lotus pose. We discussed high vibrational foods and tuned our bodies to the 963 hertz frequency to reset our DNA. And finally, we grounded the crown chakra using physical tools like mudras, such as the lotus mudra to catch the light. We use crystals and essential oils to hold that frequency. And we talked about our Euphoria carpet deodorizers, which is infused with clear quartz crystal power to physically cleanse and align your space. I really want you to consider, how will you bring this magic into your everyday life? You don't have to do it all at once. Just choose one technique or a few that really made your soul say, yes, I want some of that. Yes. We have some homework coming up next to help you practice. But if you are ready to walk in this wisdom, drop a white heart in the comments to seal this practice. Ashe. As always, before we complete the course, I want to leave you with a couple of activities activities or extra credit exercises that you can do to enhance your crown chakra. Because knowledge without applications is just philosophy. And we want transformation, okay? So the first sacred tool that I have created for you is a crown chakra law of mentalism evidence log. So for the next 7 days, we are going to test the universe and document proof that source is actively responding to us. So let me tell you how it works. The inner ring of the petals is where you plant a seed thought, where you write an intention, and then you ask for specific signs and watch and wait. And when you see a sign, whether it's a literal bumper sticker or a repeating number or a random synchronicity that stops you in your tracks, write that evidence in the outer petal, which is for bloomed evidence. Then, once the evidence has bloomed, color in that section with violet or gold. This trains your reticular activating system, or RAS, to recognize that the law of mentalism is working for you. It builds your confidence because you are physically creating a visual map of your conversations with God. Now, in the next exercise, I decided to turn up the voltage and amplify this crown chakra course. If holding a single crystal is like a tuning fork, then building a crystal grid, girl, is like conducting a symphony. Now, a crystal grid creates a contained field that holds and can direct that energy. It essentially creates a sacred space in any room where the vibration is always set to high, even when you physically leave the room. It creates a giant charging station where you don't even have to physically hold the stones anymore. Just sitting in the room with a crystal grid immerses you and your aura in this high vibrational energy. So I created a 1,000-petal lotus flower of life crystal grid. Now, this sacred geometry is etched into the temple of Osiris in Egypt and burned under the forbidden city of lions in China. It represents the cycle of creation as it starts with one circle symbolizing the void, and it expands outward into infinity with every other circle born from the first one, evenly spaced and overlapping. It contains every mathematical formula and biological pattern, including how cells divide in an embryo. It is the blueprint of life itself. When you use it, you are telling your body, open like this pattern, expand without limits. So here's a pro tip. You want to put yourself in the middle. You can be a crystal, or you can place a photo or your intention in the center of the grid. And all the other crown chakra gemstones that you place around are there to serve you. They feed energy into your center because you are the master crystal. The grid works for you. For an extra boost, sprinkle a little bit of our Euphoria carpet deodorizers to clear the energy. And then pay attention and make sure you write the proof in your evidence log, because when you align your life with the divine design, the universe has no choice but to respond. All right now, y'all. I hope that you have enjoyed this deep dive into your crown chakra and that it has illuminated your path. It is believed that once the majority of people here on Earth have developed and opened this energy center, then humanity will take a great leap forward to a more spiritually oriented existence. So just by being here, just simply by working on yourself, you have added to our collective evolution. And for that, I thank you. So celebrate yourself for leading the way, because you deserve it. Now, be on the lookout because very soon I am releasing a very special 963 hertz frequency meditation to accompany this course. Think of it as an extra credit to help you lock in on this majestic energy. Now, our journey isn't over yet. We have awakened the Kundalini energy through the 7 physical centers. But next, we go beyond the body and we will be exploring the soul star chakra. These courses have all been important parts on our journey to awaken the Kundalini energy. Our ultimate goal is for you to heal on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level so that you can be the highest version of yourself on your unique path of self-love and profound discovery. To further support and empower you on your crown chakra unfolding, I've lovingly curated a magical blessings toolkit highlighting this chakra with the crystals, the essential oils, journals, incense, and other high vibrational treasures that were discussed today. I designed these specifically to be your partners in this practice, to help you connect with the divine daily. You can find them and other tools for your transformation by visiting our website at www.crystalandteas.com. Now, a workbook with all of this series content will be available and ready to purchase for you to follow along and take notes during this course and all of the courses. Finally, I have a request of reciprocity for the time, effort, and love poured into creating this course. So please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications. Your engagement is what helps fuel this community and elevate our collective energy. This simple act of support allows us to reach more beautiful souls just like you. So follow Crystal and Teas on all of the other social media platforms listed here. If you have learned anything new, if you have felt a shift, or if you received any value from this content and our time together, please share your light in the comments. I am so deeply grateful to you for sharing your precious time today. Thank you for opening your mind to these ancient truths, and thank you for welcoming me as your guide. Until next time, vibrate higher, beautiful souls.